Hello and welcome to Portal Stormer. This is a little video about a tarot reading I did using the uh, Russian Gypsy fortune telling cards. I actually bought these cards in Australia and brought them with me. I'd like to try to pronounce that name down the bottom who created this deck, but I would embarrass myself. Not that that's ever an issue. But the reason why I did this reading today was because, first of all, I was sick all weekend. I think like other people who are feeling the energies at the moment, the planetary influences and everything, I feel like I'm sort of like circling the drain, and that sounds really dramatic, but I was sick all weekend. I went into the weekend all fired up and ready to tackle some jobs around the house that I wanted to in order to clear the way so I could move on. I had plans, I got spreadsheets for the channel and all that, and everything sort of fell apart Saturday morning. Stomach issues, and absolutely low energy. Even though I did attempt to do some things, I ended up crashing in bed. So I think coupled with how I'm feeling lately, sort of like trying to find my mojo, whatever, and just feeling like I'm stuck and in a rut. So I decided I'd do this reading because, you know, I find it really interesting finding different types of methods of fortune telling, even though I'm kind of, I don't know, I should stop waffling. But I did recently show the recently I just recorded in my room the actual reading of the cards, and what you do is you lay out the whole deck. It's 25 cards, 5 by 5 all the way down, and I matched all the ones, and then I'm going to do the reading from the book. I am doing a reading with the Russian Gypsy Tarot cards. I'm doing this reading to see if I can get an overall idea of where I'm supposed to be heading, because I'm in a funk at the moment. Things are confusing. I know that's the way the energies are at the moment. But I wanted to do this reading because you use all the cards, but you turn around the ones that are touching that actually make a picture, and then you read whichever matches, and it also depends on what direction it's facing. So I am going to just start, and what you do is there's 25 cards, so it's 5 rows of 5 cards, and I will turn her around in a minute. I just want to lay them all out first. I hope I have enough room here. And I can already see some. I'm just moving this up to make sure I've got enough room. And I am going to be using the book because I haven't memorized all these, but I do enjoy using the Russian tarot because it just seems to be more real and less, you know how sometimes you get some really esoteric readings and it's like, okay, that's great if we're sort of like not so much got our heads in the clouds, but you know, sometimes you just want some good practical guidance. And so I didn't choose this top so well, the tabletop, but anyway, so there they are. So here are the results, and what we're doing is we're turning the cards around, and I'm sorry about the way I'm zoning in on this, but you probably can't see because of the shine. But what we're doing is we're looking at each card and seeing which one matches. For example, here we've got the piggy, and when I have to turn it around the way it was supposed to be facing, So, oh my god, this lighting. Anyway, so I've turned the pig around. It's number 45 and it's pointing to the right. Now what I'm going to do is go through the rest of them and turn them around, and then I'll show you, because this lighting is a bit bad. I'm sorry. Okay, I've turned them all around and I just want to show you which ones have matched. The first one was the bread here. I turned them around to face each other, and so it's naturally pointing in the direction I need to read it. The next one I had was the tree, and I will turn it around as well, because in the next picture it also matches with the coffin. So I'll read that too. Just wanted to show you which ones matched. The next one we talked about the piggy. There's my hand in the shadow, still working with the light. And so the next one that we had match was the book here, and I will read that, but then I will also I think it also matched something else, or was that something? Yes, it also matched here next to it was the road, so I'll turn them around to face each other and read those. And then down the bottom there wasn't really anything that matched apart from the money, and that's always important, and I get a feeling that that's facing in the right direction too, which is lovely. And then when you get to the last card, you're reading every single card in the position it's facing. So I'll be doing that with the help of the Russian Gypsy fortune telling book, and I'll be back in a sec. One of the first ones that came up was the pig, and you know, I always have a fondness for pigs, just because everybody uses it as a negative word for people. When I was a little girl, we used to say, when boys called us pigs, we'd say, thank you, you just called me a pretty intelligent girl. But anyway, so the cards, actually I can't even remember the direction they were in. I think it was, though, that's right, it was pointing that way, although this is back to front. Let me just read the pig in the position, and as you can tell, I'm all over the shop, but in the position it was 45 pointing. I always say north, south, east, west, so in this position it was pointing west, and the pig was, the meaning for the pig, especially pointing in that direction, is purely an earthly happiness. And what it says is, this picture tells you to enjoy your earthly pleasures. And I get that because lately it's about gratitude, and that can sometimes stop those downward spirals. This can be your house, parties, family gatherings, relationships, or material possessions. If you have purchased a new car or anything else, then enjoy it for the pleasure it gives you. The picture can also refer to the pleasures of a sexual relationship. Too often we let guilt feelings interfere with the sensations of pleasure. The picture tells you to enjoy what you have for the moment. And I like that, I understand that. I think in some of the tarot readings I've seen online, people talking about that, the gratitude can actually help reduce the amount of stress we have over things we haven't done or achieved yet. The next one I want to read, and it was, if I remember, yes, it was pointing again to the east, but I'm just going to hold it up. The next pictures that matched was the tree, and I'm also going to be reading the one at the top, which is the hearse. And when I turned it around, of course, the hearse was facing that way, which is usually a good position, but we'll see. So I'm going to read the meanings for the tree facing that way, and I have marked the pages because I knew that I would be flipping through while I'm filming. So where is the tree? Okay, yeah, and of course it's not looking at me, even though I put something in the book to didn't get it. So here I am. No negative self-talk. The tree. Where in the hell is the tree? Tree. Branches. Is that what it is? 11 branches. Oh, okay, branches. Oh, you can tell I'm in a bad mood lately. Anyway, branches, and of course they were pointing east, and the meaning is disagreement in the family. So let me read that. Had them a lot in the past. One family member wants something done one way while the other wants it done another way. The disagreement could have happened already, and it probably has. Probably it has, or it could be about to happen. Sometimes this picture comes up when everything is going great in the family and there are no disagreements. Yet, out of the blue, something comes up and you begin arguing. Even if you try to maintain your cool and not add to the quarrel, the other person will argue for both parties and a disagreement will ensue. The best advice is to accept the inevitable and wait it out. Usually after a week, the feelings that caused the disagreement will have passed and harmony is possible again. And I understand that with family issues, with, you know, all the stuff I've been through and everything, you know, the people I've sort of pissed off because I broke away. And, you know, I get it, but I am also confusing myself. I've already read those. So now I'm going to read the hearse, and like I said, the position was front facing. I'm sorry, I'm not being very good with the light. But anyway, let's see what that said in that position. I think it's kind of like tarot cards. You kind of read them in the position they came out. I do prefer to just read them as is, but some people like to read the reversed meaning. But for the hearse in the position, oh my god, here I was thinking it was a good position because it was facing front, but it's actually, it means sickness, and that's funny because I have been sick. Which isn't funny, but anyway. This sickness may lead to death if it is not attended to. Oh my goodness, well I am taking care of myself, but in the introduction to the book, she wrote about her experience of getting this picture. It warned her of a tumour that was growing in her spine. Oh my god, I don't want to keep reading but I will. If anything's wrong, go and see a doctor. Yeah, I have been wondering ever since the retreat in January where I really frog marched myself through this cleansing or whatever you want to call it. I have been slowly but surely getting back on track with eating and everything, but I do, because it was my stomach all weekend really causing me grief, I do know I need to go. But the fact we got the hearse, watch this space. It sounds really dark, but anyway. Perhaps you should be getting more rest, eating a better diet, yes to all, exercising more, quitting your drinking, I don't drink, or simply drink more water. Many illnesses such as heart trouble, cancer, oh god, she goes on and on. The picture warns you that something you're doing is wrong and may result in a serious illness, and I know that. I've got to stop vaping and all that shit. Well, all that shit. I've got to stop vaping. I have given up other things like gummies and all kinds of things, so... if you already have a serious illness and the picture keeps appearing for you, it means that you should continue using the medication or treatment prescribed. It just, yeah, so what it means is it's a warning, take care of yourself, because if you keep going in that direction, and that makes perfect sense. It's funny how when you know stuff and you read, oh yeah, well I already knew that. Well, maybe you're not paying attention and that's why it keeps coming up. So I've read those. Now I'll move on to the next ones that matched, and that was the bread, and I can't remember. Oh no, it was facing that way, another one facing that way, the bread. So let's read what the bread says. Was there a second picture on that one? No. So bread, sustenance, taking care of myself, I get it, but let's see what it says. And the bread was again pointing that way. Profit and happiness in the house. Success in business affairs. Oh, please, Lord Jesus, and whoever else is listening. All right. So that was number 2. So profit and happiness in the house, success in business affairs. This is a wonderful picture to get. Isn't that funny? I go from death to business success. Oh, well, let's see. Especially if you're doing a reading for the year to come. I was basically saying, how do I bust myself out of this rut? What's going on? What do I need to do? The picture tells you that everything is going great for you. Oh, really? Thank you. Well, I'm not living in a war-torn country. I'm not being persecuted. So there's a lot of positives I could say. Financially, you're well off. Well, we're comfortable, and comfortable should be enough. But not comfortable enough to be able to work for myself. So you might not be as rich as the people we see on TV, but you are happy with what you have. I have to be happy with what I've got. I've got a lot, especially in comparison to what other people don't have. You have enough to give you a contented sense of well-being. The picture also implies that everyone else in your home is favoured as well, thus creating a cheerful, harmonious household. The picture tells you also that you have success in business. If you have a business, then it is doing very well. Profits are coming in. Okay. It is a good time to expand or try new ventures. At the moment, I'm just trying to hone and find what's sticking, what works. So for those of you who are working for someone else, it's also a favoured time. This is a good time to seek promotions, suggest new ideas, or generally be in the public eye. Whatever business venture you begin now will meet with success. Well, that's nice, and we'll see how that pans out. Now I'm going to go on to the road. Now I have to remember the position it was in. I feel... No, the book was first. So the book... Let me do that first. The book was down, so therefore the road was down too. Okay, so we'll do the book first anyway. The book was in this position. I turned them around to... I keep going in the dark. I'm sorry. Got to get away from the darkness. Anyway, so the book in that position was... What did it say? The book... Communication of a secret. Ooh. I'm not usually a gossip, but doesn't mean I don't get excited if someone says, hey. Anyway, someone will communicate a secret to you. This can be a secret at work, or simply a friend telling you about a secret activity. The secret will give you a better understanding of the situation and benefit you, as you will know how to act accordingly. For people who want to advance in their jobs, it is important to attend meetings, read bulletins, update skills, and have friendly luncheons with fellow workers. In this way, you can gather knowledge about the company, know where it's going, and who is going to make it work. You are not using people if you are open with them and share your ideas as well as hear their ideas. It is wise not to disclose the secret you have heard or to use it for any illegal purpose. People do tend to come to me and tell me secrets. I'm known to be a vault, although I won't keep my mouth shut if someone's in danger, of course. But usually people just have to tell someone, and if they really don't want everyone to know they can tell me. But sometimes secrets can grab you by the throat, and you know what I mean. Anyway, so the next one that matched was the road. Am I getting all the cards mixed up? See, this is indicative of my mental health, and I keep saying that lately, and I know it sounds like a cop-out. And because I'm sort of screwing up all over the place, I'm not even going to read the last card because I don't remember the positions they were in. I feel like they will be false. But that's what you do at the end of this reading. Once you've finished reading all... Look at me looking at the microphone. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm mental. You should know that by now. So you read all the cards as they turn around, and then at the end... And I can't remember what I was saying. I'm ridiculous. Anyway... So the way that the road turned around was facing again forward. So that was the way the road came out. So let's see what that says. And happy path or road. Thank you. Your life is going great right now. I love the confidence, and maybe that's what I need to be thinking. Seriously, I've got to stop being such a negative head, I meant. Your work, home, recreation and spiritual life are all on the right path. If you are asking the cards whether you should travel at this time or not, then the picture tells you that this is definitely a good time to plan a trip. No way, not in these times in this country. Meaning the US, no offence, but craziness everywhere. But then again, there's craziness around the world too. If you're doing a reading in January for the whole year, this tells you that the trip is in store for you during the year. And then she goes on about a story about what happened to her. And if you're interested, get the book and read it. I don't like to sit here for 10 years reading a whole lot to you. So basically it was saying about how it usually means that it's unexpected and good things happening. So that's wonderful. And the last one I'm going to read is the one that said money. And that one was also facing, if I remember. Doesn't always guarantee that the meaning is going to be positive. I just usually assume if a card is facing up. Look at me. Alright, money. 29. Oh, okay. So this will be something good to put a pin in. You will receive a substantial sum of money. And substantial could mean anything. If you're starving, $10 is substantial. I mean, I suppose it's all about perceptive. But this picture usually appears just before you receive an income tax refund. When we get our tax refunds, I'll let my husband take it because he pays for a lot more in there. So that's not going to come to me. But anyway. Or a larger than usual paycheck, a bonus, a commission or interest. Usually you're aware that you will be getting a large sum. Nevertheless, it is still a pleasant surprise when you get it. If you're entering negotiations of any kind, then the picture tells you that you will come out with a good settlement. Actually, I looked at the video and, excuse me, I will read the way the cards showed up. This was the end card, so when you finish reading all the images that matched, you read these exactly as they showed up. So as you can see, you've got the clover at the top. I think it's a mansion to the side. You've got the handshake at the bottom, and there's birds here. So I'm going to read them in the positions they showed up, and I will start with the birds, and that was number 12. And of course I have to flip through the pages because I'm not organized, but the birds are on page 58, and they were down the bottom. So the meaning in that position is an obstacle with which you will have to fight. So it says the problem or obstacle is slightly more serious than that indicated by the picture in position 3, but again nothing major. Obstacles in life are a challenge. When we overcome them, we get a powerful sense of achievement. Like the farmer, we don't have to kill the birds that invade our fields. We can learn to outwit them by using a scarecrow or noise. Likewise, look at the obstacle and think of creative ways to overcome it. That way you can save your energy for real problems. And I get it. Lately I've been thinking to myself, there's certain things I'm not doing that I know will help me along my journey, like journaling more, meditating, and self-care doesn't involve berating yourself for not doing self-care. So I'm getting that. And the little things in life to appreciate. I always like to remind myself of that, because sometimes just staring out the window and just enjoying the sunlight can be something that can help lift your spirits. The second card was, the second image was the clover, and that was facing that way, going west, and so that's page 31. And okay, so the meaning in that position for the clover is sorrow for a short duration, which will have a satisfactory outcome. I don't know whether this is something coming from me. I feel like it's something I have been going through just recently. Last week I've been in such a slump, but if something's coming down the pike, we'll deal with it. But let's read the position it's in. Your luck is down right now. I feel it. But it is only for a short duration. You could be out of a job, could have failed a test, or could have seen your best friend move to another part of the country, which has happened. One of my good friends. However, although you might not be happy at the time, a positive solution to the dilemma will develop. You will find a new job, pass the course, find a new way of communicating with your friend, and so forth. The secret is not to get too despondent over the situation. Definitely true. Think of it as a time out, a time to rethink your position and begin anew. I don't want to be beginning anew, but I want to hone. You can increase your luck by socialising with people. Yeah, I've got to get out more. I tend to be a shut-in. Listening to your hunches, examining the possibilities very carefully, and then taking a chance and believing in yourself. The clover picture is on your side. Remember the Russian proverb, without pain there is no learning. Interesting, especially in these times. Okay, so the next picture on the final card was the castle. It wasn't a mansion, it was a castle. Alright, so that's 76, and that was in the upright position. Fulfillment of hopes, although at the end of your life. Alright. I don't wait, I mean, God knows how long I'm going to live, but we'll see what it says. So, whatever your hopes in life are, they will be fulfilled, even if at the end of your life. If you are seeking a happy relationship, I've already got that, great husband. A home, got that. A publisher for your book. I've published my own books on Amazon, my fantasy series, The Storming Archives. Travel to an exotic place. Well, I travelled from Australia to America. It wasn't necessarily an exotic place, but is a little different. All the like, or your hopes will be realised. So I think that's a message right there, that a lot of things I've already achieved, and it's not like I'm not proud of the things I've done and accomplished and gotten over. I think that's a good message to remember sometimes, to stop and smell the roses and just look back. And even in a session I had with my therapist through BetterHelp, just yesterday, she said to me, look at all your victories even when you're a child. Like, I fought off molestation several times from an early age right through to, God, adulthood, because, you know, they keep coming. But the bad men anyway. So that's interesting. So I have to remember those little victories and the things that I've achieved. So this is interesting because it's kind of telling me, like, geez, you're pretty ungrateful, aren't you? So the problem is that many of us want it sooner than is ordained. We don't want to wait a lifetime after all. This is the age of instant gratification. The picture tells you to relax, stop trying so hard, keep on working toward your goal. Don't rush it. You will get what you want, but later. I'm a very impatient person, so I can't stand hearing that, but we'll see. I mean, I do have to enjoy the journey. That's one lesson that I'm still learning, even at 58 years of age. I'm still, what's the next thing? What, you know, sometimes I just have to sit back and let things stew, let it, you know, meld and do what it needs to do. Don't rush it. You will get what you want, but later. The irony is that if you get it too soon, it might be the end of your life as well. Wow. Okay. A castle does not only mean security. A castle is a safe refuge. We have that. We call our home our castle. Yet if we confine ourselves to it, the results might not be to our benefit in the long run. My husband and I are both sort of shut-ins in a way. When we get home from work, it's like, that's it, we're safe, you know. The Tower of London is an example of a refuge turned to a prison. Yeah. During the Middle Ages, a moat was built around the tower for further protection. The moat was connected to the Thames River. The Thames, I forget how you pronounce that. I've been in America too long. Not that I'm English. It was connected to the Thames for drainage. However, the drainage didn't work well, and for more than 400 years the moat was a cesspool. The inhabitants of the tower were exposed to all kinds of diseases. It was Queen Victoria who finally had the moat filled in and restored health to the inhabitants of the tower. The moral of the story is that the moral of the story is that what we think we want might not be good for us in the long run. The picture tells you you will get your wish, but don't rush it. Smell the roses along the way. You might have a fuller life than you expected. Yeah, I think that's something in there for all of us, right? The Russians say the quieter you travel, the farther you'll get. Those who are always in a hurry not only miss many details and have to redo them later, but also increase their chance of dying young from high blood pressure. Therefore, strive for your goals, but be patient. You will get as far as you want to go. Okay, I could take that as a positive. And the last picture on the final card was the handshake, and let's read that. I'm sure you're just as riveted as I am. I hope you are. I am going to also do a full reading using the Rider-Waite deck, and I'm also going to do a full reading using the Deviant Moon Tarot. Anyway, 36, handshake, 127. Let's see what that means in that position, pointing west. Alright, the handshake will weaken if you don't make the effort to strengthen it. Let's see. This is a sound warning telling you that your union is in danger. My union? With who? My husband? We're solid, but we'll see. You've got to take some things with a grain of salt, but it is interesting. I mean, union might not be romantic, so let's see. You should devote more time to the other person or to the relationship. And yes, that's something I've been doing recently, because I've felt since December it was really all about me and my shit that I was going through. I ended up going to the retreat in January to sort myself out. And just over the past couple of weeks, I've been really focusing on myself, because I really am sick of myself. Looking at my husband and seeing what he's going through. He's got a great job and he loves it, but he's got his own stresses and things going on. So just tuning into him has helped me realize that, you know, loving your partner isn't just about making sure they're still there for you. It's also remembering that they're a human being first and foremost, before they're even your partner. Anyway, I got a little bit full of myself there. Let's go on. Quite often we get so carried away with our jobs, activities or children that we forget to put the same amount of energy into our closest relationship. Or we get bored with the other person or the relationship and think we are justified in seeking other stimulants. If the picture comes up in this position, then it is a time for you to take a closer look at your relationship. Do you want to continue it? Yes. And if so, what can you do to strengthen the bond? I'm doing it. I probably could do more, but sometimes at the end of the day, after working all day, and you do need a little bit of time to yourself too, but yeah, we're good. The picture warns you that it is up to you to make the effort to strengthen the relationship. I get it. It is you and not the other person who was at fault. Oh, well, thanks a lot. There's no fault in our relationship. It's just we had an agreement when we first got married that only one person could go crazy at a time. So there's no, to me, this meaning isn't 100%. I mean, there's no fault. Remember that spouses don't usually stray from a healthy, vital relationship. Look into the past and try to remember what brought the two of you together in the first place. We are good. We're golden. We chat every day like friends, meeting up for coffee. And so it's interesting though, because I do have to keep up. Remember, even on my bad days, it's okay for me to reach out, put my arm around him and say, how are you? How are you going? and that's just courtesy as well as love and compassion. Then do whatever pleases the other person to rekindle the old romantic spark, or cut down on the outside activities with which you are involved in order to devote more time to the relationship. In either case, you'll be a winner because you will regain a strong relationship, which is the main support you have in life. And I get that, that's true. He is my Rock of Gibraltar, and I try to be the same for him. Sometimes I think I'm a bit more of a flake. He's a very stoic man, very reliable, dependable to a fault, and I'm always wary of the fact that I lean on him sometimes. Financially it's just a given because he earns so much more than me, but you know, helping him in other ways and just being there for him. But anyway, I'm waffling. As usual, I usually end the videos with waffling, but I'm going to insert this in because when I did the previous final reading for all these cards, I lost my mojo and said, well, I forget what position the final card was in. So I just did this little extra bit just to insert in there. And anyway, I hope it was interesting for you.